If we are a tax preparer or student who would like to learn more about S corporations and entering S corporation returns, or a business owner who is thinking about S corporation as an option for a business type entity, this course is a course for us. This course will contain a comprehensive problem entering data into an S corporation tax return. We will provide resources that can be used in order to enter the data in a step-by-step process, along with instructional videos including tax forms, an Excel worksheet which will help us to organize the data, and an open items list. We'll also have the answer file so you can see the completed work and the completed project. The answer file will provide the completed Excel worksheet and the completed tax returns after many of the steps as we go through the step-by-step process of entering this information into the tax returns, as well as a completed open items list as we enter the information into the open items as we go through the process. We will be using tax software in order to enter this information. It's a good example to see the tax software. If you don't have access to the tax software, you can enter the information directly into the forms in a PDF format that we will provide. The forms are also available on the IRS website at irs.gov, irs.gov. The software that we will be using is called Lacert. Lacert is owned by Intuit, the owner of QuickBooks. As we enter information into the software and the forms, we'll also be using an Excel worksheet. When working more complex returns, it is common to have some type of other software such as an Excel worksheet. The Excel worksheet being the most transparent type of format for us to organize our thoughts as we enter this information into the software. It can organize our thoughts in a few different ways. We can take the client data and have the unadjusted trial balance, then make any adjustments we need to for the adjusted trial balance. We can also make those tax adjustments. So we'll actually tie out to every kind of adjustment that we will have on the tax return. For example, the tax return will have Schedule K adjustments and M1 adjustments, which are often very confusing when we first start to input the data into the tax return. They're confusing for everybody as well, because the more of these type of adjustments we have, the more complicated the return will be. So for example, if we look at a tax return here, the first page of the 1120S will have basically a net income number, the ordinary business income. If we look at page 3 of the 1120S, we're going to be reconciling that number, the ordinary business income number, to another basically net income number, income loss reconciliation, the 79,510. And then if we look at page 5, we'll have the M1, which basically takes the book income. Here's the book income, and adjust that to the 79,510. So we want to be able to find a way that we can reconcile these items. It's nice to be able to reconcile them in Excel. We'll show how to do that within Excel. We'll have a system to be able to track the Schedule K adjustments, the M1 adjustments, track the book income, and track the income that was given to us before any book adjustments to the books, then the book income after adjustments and the adjusted trial balance, and then we'll account for the Schedule K adjustments and the M1 adjustments, and show how we can really reconcile this all out and get a good grasp of this. Also, as we enter this into the system, note that just like if you're going to enter financial statements, it's really easy if you don't have a step-by-step process to get off or something goes wrong and you just don't know what to do other than to start all over again. Or if you go to a supervisor or something like that, they don't know where to dig in and figure out what is wrong and just start all over again. So we really want to set up a systematic process to enter this into the tax return so we can, 1, minimize the errors as we have the data input, and 2, we can isolate each step so that if there is an error, we can find exactly where the error happened and which step that error happened, and then we can research that problem or ask for help when we get to that point in time, rather than basically saying if something's not in balance, therefore we're going to start the whole thing over again. So the way we'll do that is we'll take the client data, we'll put that into the unadjusted trial balance, then we'll make any adjustments we need. Then when we actually enter this into the tax return, we'll start off with the balance sheet. We'll enter the prior year balance sheet, the current year balance sheet. Then we'll enter the income tax return, and we'll start off entering the income tax return just on the book basis, meaning I want to get page 1 of the 1120 to basically tie out to the book basis, which isn't going to be the end number. But what we're going to do as we do that is we'll mark off all the things that we're going to need adjustments for. Once we get this number tied off to the book basis, then we can start to think about those M1 and Schedule K adjustments one at a time. At that point in time, we'll have this number tied off to the book basis. we'll have the Schedule L, which is the balance sheet, in balance. And then we can think about those adjustments to M1 just like a journal entry. And each time we do an adjustment, we can do it in such a way that will remain in balance, and we'll be able to figure out exactly what's happening, isolate each individual M1 and Schedule K adjustment to really get an understanding of what is going on with them, how we can reflect that in the tax return, and how we can reflect it in a more transparent format in an Excel worksheet. Once the data input has been input, we'll take a look and analyze the K1s that will be used to flow through to the individual 1040 forms, and we'll actually use Lacert to export a K1 from the 1120S to a individual owner, the shareholder, to the 1040. Then we'll go over and analyze what has happened with the data input from the Schedule K into an individual tax return, the individual 1040.